Integrating cybersecurity using AI into corporate governance. So using AI via your cybersecurity platforms, integrating it into corporate governance. So our discussion was threefold. Do you even have human-based governance? Have you even established a relationship within your organization, cross-functional, to say you have governance? Are you having those conversations with your privacy, your legal, your financial, your compliance teams to establish that human governance? To get to stage two. Stage two, do you have human buy-in to start leveraging AI as a part of governance? And then once you've gotten there, do you even have trust in the output of AI? Not so much trust in the hallucinations, but trust in the maturity in which the AI can represent the output, was the core of our discussion.
Wow, that was a good job. Man, maybe I shouldn't have come up here so quick.
Come on, Charles. We got you. Go, Charles.
All right, so our table had evolving legal frameworks and corporate governance. Can you write it? Our first bullet point that we addressed was adapting corporate governance to meet new legal requirements. And the obvious question that comes after that is, how do you know of the new requirements as they're coming down? And so one of the key points was having your internal legal team, such as having paralegals assigned with monitoring compliance requirements and things that are coming to you, having a good understanding of your contracts, of knowing what's in your contractual obligations, because those are a huge source of your compliance and governance requirements. And then also reliance on outside sources like key vendor partnerships, outside providers that can help you stay apprised of what are the coming requirements that you've got to implement. Then the next question that we addressed was the need to collaborate and watch each other's back, because none of these are going to be perfect processes, and you've got to work together to make sure you're all collaborating to make sure that gets done. So the next bullet point was future-proofing governance against evolving risks. And a key point that came out of that was the value of automation in both searching for and evaluating, analyzing these new requirements as they come down, and using things like GRC platforms, tools that can help with that. A key point that we came away with there, good effective threat modeling can help you from knowing what your risks are and how they're going to impact this process. And then knowing that none of this is going to be perfect, but that's where you have to rely on your process for your defensibility, because you're going to miss things, but if you have a good process in place, that's what makes it legally defensible many times. So having that, and then knowing your risk thresholds, knowing where your company stands as far as how it accepts or evaluates risk, like at the board level on down. And then finally, the last point was governance relationship between CISOs and legal. And really the key point there is just that there's the need for collaboration. Under this process, legal is primarily charged with identifying what needs to be done, and then your security team is dealing with the implementation and the execution of that. And that there's a need, as y'all can imagine, I'm going to say, for legal and cyber to partner together and work collaboratively. So there you go.
Well said. Our topic was responsible AI. So our three main points were: one, ethical AI. And we had a lot of discussion, and we're all in agreement on the trust but verify, and that keeping humans in the design loop. Training the LLM, training the people, and having risk acceptance or value at risk, especially among the developers. And then two was defining AI. How do you define AI? Have that agreement across the board what is AI and the use cases. And then the third was around the AI governance. And specifically, we put into our AI governance stakeholder buy-in and accountability, domain and use cases, what's the data being used, agree on that, the IP, the validation, as well as risk mitigation, vendor management and legal, and the partnership there, the policies, and then the employee acceptance. And then I want to call out, because it was brought to the attention, I think it could be very good, useful reading, an article by Roger Penrose. Is it The Self-Observing Universe?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, to check that out as well.
So the topics we had today were AI and automation and enterprise governance. The first one was how AI and machine learning can drive decision-making and operational efficiency, ethical considerations of AI, and then managing risk. Takeaways we have are prescriptive versus predictive. Be able to predict, respond, and act. You put guardrails around it. Baby steps. Get your own branded GPT, let it bake in, and let, from there, make a difference between your enterprise AI and your customer/employee AI. Data, data, data. It all begins with data. Know what you have, get it identified, classified, and that will help minimize your risk. Last but not least, we have autonomous versus automation. Human verification, of course. Data stewards, get some. Trust, log the prompt, lock them out if they're doing something they have no business doing. Allow for base identities to only have base access in the cloud for your AI. If you're a privileged identity, they have limited access in the cloud. The question I'll leave with everyone is, what is your acceptable trust level for your company?
All right, hello everybody, I'm Mike Madero. Our topic was supply chain resilience and governance in a globalized world. So the way we defined supply chain was likened to a process that prints money. It has three components. There's material flow, there's an information flow, and that allows the money to flow. So that's how if those things aren't flowing, you're not printing money. So what do you do here, right? So as with anything, on the, since we're in a globalized situation, how are you defining your controls? How do the regulations change from here to there? Is that impacting your flow at all, or any of those things? On the material, how did that go? Are there customs? Are there delays? Are there, is your stuff going to get stuck on a container ship on the Suez Canal? Right? How's that going to impact your thing? And do you have contingency plans? Have you identified the fragility in your supply chain? And then at the end of all that, after you define your controls, your weak spots, where is the risk being mitigated? Is there shared ownership by both your technology groups and your business leaders? And that is what we came up with.